What is up, FPL managers, guys? Today we're looking at the Game Week 6 team selection. As always, you guys gotta like and subscribe before the video starts because we want to hit 1k subs already, so let's get it running up. Anyway, let's get right into the video. So with this one, guys, I'm actually not going to be jumping straight into the team. You see, I've got a creative way of showing you how good my team is. Right now, I'm going to put up my Wildcard 6 team, not my Wildcard 6 team because I'm not using a wildcard, but what I think would be the best Wildcard 6 team. The reason I'm going to be doing this is because we can compare it to my actual team, the team I didn't use a wildcard with, and we can see how good it is compared to what I think the best wildcard team is. As you can see here, we've got the double Arsenal defence. Some people like Raya. I prefer getting Saliba and picking a 4.5 goalkeeper that could maybe keep up with Raya. But apart from that, it's pretty standard. So yeah, 8 of these players are in my current team, guys. Yes, 8 of these players are in my wildcard team. And now I know what some of you might be thinking, okay? Surely, FPL boarders, you could just be being biased here. You could put some players in here that you shouldn't because they're already in your team. You know, like I said, some of you might prefer Raya instead of Flecken. Some people might prefer Salah instead of Saka. They might prefer Semenyo in this team. And they might like Eze in this team because of his expected data. And if you guys were to say them things, you know, I would understand. Mainly because all 3 of those outfield players I just named are in my actual Game Week 6 team. Yes, guys, right now on the screen, you are not seeing a wildcard team. This is my actual Game Week 6 team, and I'm sure some wildcard 6 teams look exactly like this because a lot of them have Semenyo, a lot of them have Salah. He's still got some good fixtures and he's still a great player. And some people have Eze in their teams. So, in other words, I am pretty much the best FPL manager of all time. I'm trying to say this without sounding like a prick, but that's probably already too late. So I'm just going to keep going with it. Yeah, I did sacrifice a few game weeks along the way to be at this point in Game Week 6 without using the wildcard. You know, I sacrificed the last few game weeks just to make these moves, which were kind of suboptimal at the time. So you may be thinking, oh, it must be at a low rank then. But no, I'm 750k overall, which is actually pretty good for this team being where it is right now. I'm insanely happy with it. So yeah, pretty much I am ready to take FPL by storm without even pressing the wildcard button. I'm probably going to be saving it for Game Week 12, which I think is the best time to wildcard, mainly because I hear loads of other people saying it and, you know, I'm just kind of going along with it at this point. So yeah, quick rundown of the current team. Flecken playing home to West Ham. It could be his first clean sheet of the season. He owes me one. He owes me like 2 at least, to be honest. And he owes me some more save points as well. In defence, Gabriel and Saliba. They're obviously going to keep a clean sheet, guys. Let's not beat around the bush. They're going to do it. Playing home to Leicester, that's a game Arsenal just simply don't concede in. And Gavardio playing against Newcastle, well, it's not the easiest fixture, but you know, Newcastle, they're quite consistent. So it could actually be a clean sheet for him. You know, he's kind of been underperforming for me as well. He owes me at least 1 goal involvement and at least 2 more clean sheets. So yeah, Gavardio, it's time for you to step up your game. Even if this Newcastle game goes poorly, he's got so many green fixtures after this that I'm not even going to sell him. I'm just going to keep him there because I trust my guy. The midfield is consisting of Eze, who has been underperforming as well lately, guys. As you can see, you know, I'm just quite an unlucky player, but that doesn't stop me from soaring through the ranks. So yeah, Eze playing at Everton could finally be his 2nd return of the season, and I'm hoping it is because, you know, once again, he's another player that owes me something. Next to him, Morgan Rogers would be another player that owes me something, but he's been let off the hook now, you know. He dropped 10 points last game week, and I'm pretty happy with that. We have to remember, at the end of the day, Morgan Rogers does cost 5.2, 5.3 mil, so we can't expect the world from him. He is still very good value for what he's given. Then we have Salah. Now, Salah in my team was a very, very tempting captaincy option, but guys, I don't want to go there. I think, I don't know, man. I prefer Haaland, to be honest. I believe it or not, I want to pick the guy who's averaging 2 goals a game. Would you believe it? Honestly, I do believe Luis Diaz could be just as good, if not only slightly worse than Salah, for the 5 million less. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking about selling him, but we'll talk about that later. We've got Salah in the team, and we still want him to do well at the end of the day. Unless his effective ownership is above 100%, then I want him to fail. Finally, we got Semenyo in that midfield, which a lot of people, like I said, have on the wild card. And I do believe Semenyo is going to be coming away with double digits this game. He got 3 returns in a row at the beginning of the season. He's blanked twice in a row, but technically he did score against Liverpool, but he got ruled offside or it was disallowed for some reason. Either way, Semenyo has technically got 4 returns in 5 games. That's how I'm seeing it. So he's on good form still, even though he's had a couple blanks in the last 2. I think Semenyo, home to Southampton. Then another game after that is quite easy. I completely forgot what it is. Maybe away to Leicester. I think that's 2 returns in 2 games for Semenyo. So yeah, very happy with where he's at. And at the end of the day, we also need to remember Semenyo isn't that much either. Like Morgan Rogers, he's very good for how much he is worth. Up front, Haaland is captain already. You know why I'm picking him. Scoring 2 goals a game. He's probably going to keep it up considering Newcastle are not that strong defensively at the moment. Oliver Watkins now, guys. Ollie Watkins, he blanked the first 3 game weeks of the season, scored 3 goals in the next 2 from game week 4 and 5, and I do think he's going to continue this, guys. He is still underperforming his expected goals on the whole this season, so he's got a lot of ground to make up. Well, not a lot, but a bit, and I do think he's going to keep that up because normally he's a player that will overperform his expected goals. So yeah, Aston Villa finally finding their stride, picking up their form after the first couple hard games, and they're ready to bag me loads of points. I can feel it. The next 3 or 4 games are still really good for them, and I believe Morgan Rogers and Watkins are going to be very good soldiers for me in this game week and the next few coming up. Finally, we've got Chris Wood, who is my favourite FPL player already. He was good for me last season. I didn't even own him last season, but he was very good last season. He had a good conversion rate. That's why I've got him in this season. And he's already got me 3 goals in the first 5 game weeks. And when Chris Wood scores, he doesn't just get 6 points, guys. We know this. He gets 8 or 9. And he can do it against any team if he's just given even half a chance because his conversion rate is good. All he needs is 1 corner, 1 direct free kick to get a header on. You guys know what I'm saying. I love Chris Wood for 6.1 million. I think a lot of people should be owning him. And if you're on a wild card especially, guys, you want to be owning him too. So that's the quick rundown of the team. Now we're going to be looking at moves I am considering in game week 7. Now it's actually just going to be one move we're looking at for now, and I did mention it just briefly already. We're looking at maybe going from Salah to Luis Diaz. Now looking at the expected goal involvements on these two, they are very similar. But as you can see here, Luis Diaz, he's costing 7.98 million. Can't remember off the top of my head, he's going up too much. And Salah costing 12.8, I believe. That is a real big difference in price, for only, quite even on, the data and the actual output of points. And I know some of you may think, well, Salah costs more because he's a good captaincy option, but every time Luis Diaz has got a goal involvement, he's got more than 10 points. He's gone into the double digits every time, which makes Luis Diaz actually a very good captaincy option anyway. And with the 5 million saved from selling Salah to Luis Diaz, I can move up some of my other players who are quite cheap to more reliable mid-price players, or I could go up from even like Eze all the way to Saka. There's so many things I could do with this transfer, and it's insanely tempting. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens against Wolves, but that is probably going to be my move. I'm not going to do it now, because if I wanted to upgrade anyone else in my team, it would cost me a -4, which I don't believe in. I'm against the -4s where I can be. I try not to take any of them. But it's a very interesting debate, this one. I do think Luis Diaz right now is just as good as Salah, and I think many people are going to agree with me, so it's very weird to see some people don't have him in their wildcard teams. I get James Maddison and Brian Mbeumo are very good, and I do like them, but Luis Diaz is like, he's just levels above him right now. So yeah guys, I want you all to let me know, what would you do in this situation if you have Salah? I mean, some of you already have him, some of you might not, some of you might have already sold him, but I'm very interested to think and see what everybody else is doing, because I think Saka could be worth bringing in instead. Maybe Son, maybe Palmer, whoever's doing best at the time when I do sell Salah. But at the end of the day, if I don't need the money, I probably won't do it. Anyway, fellows, that is enough of my rambling. You guys have seen the team. You've seen how we're going into game week 6, keeping up with the wildcard sixers, pulling ahead of people who aren't using the wildcard. It's pretty much game over for everybody in my mini leagues. In my Bodders Bozos mini league, we've got 58 people in it. Whoever's at first right now, all I want to say is thank you for keeping first place warm. I really appreciate it, because it's going to be mine very, very soon. Anyway, if you did get all the way to the end of the video, you are practically my best friend. Thank you very much. You are very much appreciated. And yeah, guys, I will see you after game week 6 into the game week 7 transfer plans.